If you are over 60, what if I told you that something you do every single night, something that feels completely harmless, could be quietly raising your blood sugar while you sleep, putting stress on your heart, your brain, and even your legs without you realizing it? These are the kinds of senior health tips and senior secrets that most people never hear about after 60. Yet they can make a profound difference in how your body functions day after day. And the most dangerous part is, it doesn't happen while you're awake. It happens when you think your body is resting. And here's where it gets even more surprising. Most people believe that sleep is always protective, that once you go to bed, your body stabilizes, resets, and heals. But in reality, for millions of adults over 60, the opposite is happening. Blood sugar begins to rise, hormones shift in the wrong direction, and the body enters a silent stress state that continues for hours. And later in this video, I'm going to reveal the one specific mistake that makes this dramatically worse, and almost nobody talks about it. As we age, your body doesn't respond the same way it did at 30 or even 50. Your metabolism slows, your muscle mass declines, your insulin sensitivity becomes weaker, and your internal clock, the system that regulates hormones like cortisol and melatonin, starts to lose its precision. That means the balance between rest and repair becomes more fragile. Even small habits begin to have a much bigger impact. And this matters more than most people realize. Because blood sugar is not just about diabetes. It affects your energy, your circulation, your brain clarity, and even your risk of waking up feeling weak or unsteady. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you something simple. Where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comments. I always read them, and it helps me understand who I'm speaking with and how to better guide you. Now, let's start with something that may seem completely innocent. Number 5, eating too close to bedtime. A man named Robert, 68 years old, told me something that sounded very reasonable. He said, "I don't eat much during the day, so I have a proper dinner at night. It helps me sleep better." But what he didn't realize was that his body was still working hard to process that food while he was asleep, especially if that meal contained carbohydrates or sugar. Here's what happens. When you eat late, your body releases insulin to manage the glucose from your meal. But during sleep, your insulin sensitivity is naturally lower. This means your body is less efficient at handling sugar. In one clinical study on older adults, researchers found that eating within 2 hours of bedtime significantly increased overnight glucose levels compared to earlier meals. What this means for you is simple. That late-night meal doesn't just sit quietly. It keeps your system active and your blood sugar elevated. Robert began waking up feeling heavy, tired, and slightly dizzy. Not because he wasn't sleeping, but because his body never truly entered a deep recovery state. And here's what most people don't realize. It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it. When he moved his dinner earlier, even by just 90 minutes, he noticed something surprising. His sleep became deeper, his morning energy improved, and his blood sugar readings stabilized. But the next part is even more important. And before we move on, if this first point opened your eyes even a little, take a second to like this video. It helps more seniors like you discover information that could quietly protect their health, especially when it comes to something as overlooked as what happens during sleep. Number 4, sleeping with hidden stress hormones active. You might think that once your head hits the pillow, your body relaxes. But for many adults over 60, the opposite is happening internally. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, is supposed to decrease at night. But if your body is under subtle stress, whether from poor sleep habits, mental worry, or irregular routines, it can remain elevated. And cortisol directly raises blood sugar. In fact, researchers have observed that elevated nighttime cortisol levels can trigger glucose release from the liver, even when you haven't eaten. That means your blood sugar rises, without any food at all. I remember a woman named Elena, 72, who said she slept fine. But every morning, her blood sugar was higher than expected. She couldn't understand why. When we looked deeper, we found that she often watched stressful news before bed and went to sleep with her mind still active. What this means for you is that your body does not separate emotional stress from physical stress. To your system, it's the same signal. Once she replaced that habit with calming music and light reading, something changed. Within weeks, her morning levels improved. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not just about falling asleep. It's about what state your body enters before sleep. And this is where things get more serious. Number 3. Interrupted sleep cycles. You might wake up once or twice during the night and think it's normal. And in many ways, it is. But frequent interruptions, especially after age 60, can create a pattern that directly impacts blood sugar control. During deep sleep, your body becomes more insulin sensitive. It repairs tissues. It regulates hormones. But when that sleep is broken, those processes are disrupted. In one study published in a major sleep research journal, fragmented sleep was linked to reduced insulin sensitivity in older adults. Even a single night of poor sleep showed measurable effects. A gentleman named Frank, 70, told me he woke up 3 or 4 times every night. Sometimes for the bathroom, sometimes for no clear reason. He assumed it was just aging. But over time, he began feeling weaker in the mornings. His balance wasn't as steady, and his blood sugar readings became unpredictable. What this means for you is that sleep is not just about duration. It's about continuity. When Frank started adjusting his evening hydration, reducing late caffeine, and improving his sleep environment, his interruptions decreased. And something unexpected happened. His morning stability improved, not just in blood sugar, but in how he felt walking and moving. But the next mistake is even more subtle and far more common. And if this part made you think about your own sleep, or someone you care about, take a moment to share this video with them. Because many seniors are dealing with these silent nighttime changes without even realizing it. And one small insight like this could make a real difference in how they feel every morning. Number 2, sleeping too little or too much. You've probably heard that 7 to 8 hours of sleep is ideal. But after 60, both extremes can be problematic. Sleeping too little increases stress hormones and reduces insulin sensitivity. But sleeping too much can also signal metabolic imbalance and reduced physical activity. In a large observational study involving older adults, both short sleep duration and long sleep duration were associated with higher blood sugar levels and increased risk of metabolic issues. I once spoke with a couple in their late 60s. The husband slept about 5 hours a night. The wife slept nearly 10. Both had issues with blood sugar, but for different reasons. He was running on stress. She was experiencing low activity and disrupted circadian rhythm. What this means for you is that balance matters. Your body thrives on rhythm, not extremes. When they both adjusted toward a more consistent 7-hour sleep window, along with light daytime activity, their results began to shift. And if this is helping you understand your body better, consider subscribing. Because these small insights, when applied consistently, can change how you feel every single day. But now we come to the most important part. Number 1. The number one sleep mistake that harms blood sugar overnight. Going to bed without stabilizing your blood sugar first. This is the mistake almost nobody talks about. Many adults over 60 either go to bed slightly hungry or after eating foods that cause rapid spikes and drops in glucose. And during the night, your body continues to regulate blood sugar through a delicate balance of hormones. But if that balance is unstable, your body enters a compensatory mode. It may release more glucose, it may trigger stress hormones, and it may disrupt deep sleep cycles. In one clinical observation, researchers found that unstable pre-sleep glucose levels led to greater variability overnight, especially in older adults. I remember a man named George, 74. He believed that eating very little at night was healthier, so he would go to bed slightly hungry. But around 3 a.m., his body would respond by releasing stress hormones and glucose, not because he ate, but because his body was trying to protect itself. He began waking up at that exact time, night after night. When we introduced a small, balanced evening snack, something with protein and healthy fat, his body stabilized, and within days, his sleep improved, his early morning awakenings reduced, and his blood sugar became more predictable. What this means for you is not that you need to eat more, but that you need to eat smarter. Because your body is not shutting down at night. It is regulating, repairing, and responding. And what you give it before sleep determines how it behaves for the next 6 to 8 hours. Now, take a moment to think about your own routine. Do you eat late? Do you go to bed with your mind still active? Do you wake up during the night? Do you sleep too little or too much? Or do you go to bed without stabilizing your system? Because these are not small details. They are signals. Signals that your body is sending every single night. And the good news is this: you are not powerless in this process. Even small changes, adjusting meal timing, calming your mind before sleep, creating a consistent routine, can begin to shift your internal balance. You don't need perfection. You need awareness. And when you become aware, your body begins to respond. Now, if today's video helped you understand how your nighttime habits can quietly raise your blood sugar, then you're already starting to see how much your sleep environment and positioning truly matter. But here's something most people overlook. Even if your meals are perfect and your routine is consistent, the way you position your body during sleep can either protect your circulation and spine, or slowly make things worse, night after night. In my next video, Seniors over 60, 4 worst sleep positions and 4 that protect you, I'll show you which common sleeping positions may be silently increasing pressure on your organs, restricting blood flow, and disrupting your recovery. And which simple adjustments can help your body repair itself more effectively while you sleep. Once you see this, you'll never look at your sleeping position the same way again. And you'll know exactly how to turn your nights into true recovery for your body.